really is magic, without going down an Alan Moore route too far, because he does it a lot better than I do, although he's right. The specific way that a purely visual and static medium can cause your brain to generate the illusion of time passing, but to do it in a way that makes no fucking sense. You know, you can have, here's a panel, it's got 4 different people talking in it, and a sound effect, and a moment, a frozen moment of somebody being shot. These things cannot reconcile. This is a static image that has multiple different speeds and velocities of time-related things happening in it. And then once your mind has been able to stitch all these things together in such a way that they make sense, you then are faced with this empty gutter, which your brain has to jump over to try and match up to whatever's in the next panel. And this is all happening silently, unconsciously, and very, very fast. And that's using up a ton of your unconscious power. And it follows that when you reach a beat in a story, in a comic that is powerful, your brain is working so fucking hard, it hits twice as hard as it would hit in any other medium where you're being given more or less of any particular element. And I truly believe that that's true. I believe that you can hit readers much harder than you can, like the best movies versus the best comics, video games, all these different mechanisms for storytelling use different versions of received and perceived information, the way that your brain is required to decode everything. But comics is the only one that mixes them all up in this patchwork of received and perceived gratifications, and your brain's really working hard. And that's quite remarkable. And that's before you even get into the magic of collaboration, the magic of 2 different people's visions getting all tangled up with each other and being greater than the sum of their parts, the magic of shared universes. Like, I could go on, but as a tool in a storyteller's box, it's pluripotent. It's absolutely astonishingly wonderful. Pissy Spurrier side note, it is therefore tragic how utterly shit an awful lot of comics are, because they're not making the most of this. They're doing the same shit over and over and over again, when they could really be pushing, like, I'm often waffling, sorry, but like Step by Bloody Step, we talked about it earlier on. When we discovered this, we had no expectation of it. We discovered that when you show a silent comic, whatever that means, because all comics are silent, but a comic that has no text in it, to a reader, they have to read it quite differently. And here's what I think happens when you pick up a standard comic. The brain and the eye jumps immediately to the text in the first panel, and it reads it, and then it holds it in the forefront of its mind while it investigates the imagery around it to try and confirm or juxtapose or to sort of make some sort of sense out of these 2 different things. And then when it's done that, it hops onwards, and it tends to hop onwards into the next text in the next panel. And that's the constant process. When there is no text anywhere on any page, the brain gets a little bit confused. It's like, what the fuck am I doing? I've got no navigation. I've got no guiding star. So every single panel is an investigation. Why has the artist decided to show me this? There's a picture of a hand. Why is there a hand in this? What does that mean? I'm going to check the next panel and see if that oh, the hand's reaching for a flower. Okay, that makes some sense. Every single little thing has to be decoded in a way that causes the brain to work even harder than I was waffling about earlier on. And it's so exhausting unconsciously that we realized if we didn't every now and then throw in a big double-page splash of just nothing, like a beautiful landscape or some footsteps in the snow, if we didn't do that, people couldn't get more than 5 or 6 pages into it before going, okay, taking a break. And that's remarkable. You know, that's something that most people don't, you wouldn't stand up and leave after 5 minutes at the beginning of a movie because it's a bit tiring to watch this. Maybe you would. But anyway, it's a remarkable medium, and we've barely scratched the surface of what it can do.